Welcome to Red Dirt D&D. I'm Michael Cross, and I play Gideon Block, a paladin with a tragic past, along with Kiri Hester as Poppy Tealeaf, a halfling druid searching for a new life, Johnny Payne as Xonimus Danar, a half-elf rogue with a past he can't seem to escape, Brooke Bullock as Mak'ren Stoneshaper, a young dwarf sorcerer setting out to discover his own arcane gifts, and Ash King is our dungeon master. Join us now for Tales from the Caliban Frontier.
Today is a good day in the city of Venturis. The capital city of Ratoya is a lively, bustling metropolis, the seat of governmental and economic power in the east. On its busy streets, dozens of languages are spoken as merchants go about their business. The Dwarven Rail clans all call Venturis home. They all maintain offices here. Most recently, Jacoby Blackhands, the rail manager of the Blackhands Rail Company, has put out a call. He wants to do the impossible. He wants to map the Caliban frontier. Jacoby sits in his office, a stately building, all the comforts of home, awaiting the 4 individuals who have applied to be his map makers.
Ah, dear nephew, my dear Mak'ren, I am so pleased that you are representing the fine dwarven clans on this mission.
I'm somewhat surprised at your invitation, Uncle, but it's well met.
Now, just Mak'ren, we just need to let bygones be bygones. You know, I know it was difficult for you growing up, but I think you'll do well.
And you know I didn't do it on purpose.
Oh, I know, I understand.
Well, again, I'm just so thankful. Basically, just keep an eye on things, make sure the family interests are represented well.
Yes, dear nephew, that is exactly why I want you on this expedition. Now, I hope that the other 3 arrive soon. Can I get you a refreshment?
An ale would be great.
Coming right up, nephew. He moves over to a fine cabinet, opening it up, and you see the fine crystal dishware as he brings forth one of the very fine aged ales. You probably haven't tasted one of these in a while, but he brings over a crystal glass and sets it down on the desktop.
Mak'ren definitely hasn't seen finery in a while, and so his blue eyes kind of sparkle. He might kind of lick his lips just a tiny bit at the idea that he would be offered something from the personal cabinet. I mean, even though it's his uncle, but still, it's really great. So he graciously and tentatively takes the glass and says, should we wait for the others, or is it just for us?
This one is just for us, dear nephew. Just to reestablish familial bonds.
So he swirls it around, gives a little salute, and then just chugs it in one shot.
Yeah, Jacoby does the same. He gives you a nod and raises his glass as he shoots the drink back. There is nice. Absolutely no substitute.
I have forgotten how good your taste was, Uncle.
Well, only the best for the rail manager.
It's a big, the Caliban frontier. That's what you want to do. Map the whole thing.
Yes.
It's very exciting.
They say it can't be done, and they say I'm a little crazy for even trying, but there's so much untapped opportunity. And as he says this, he looks up as the door opens.
Howdy. I believe this is where I'm supposed to be showing up. Gideon Block, I was told to arrive here. This is where the job is to map the Caliban frontier, is what I understand.
Why, yes, Gideon, welcome. Please, come on in. Make yourself right at home. You have to duck just a little bit, because you're a human and he's a dwarf. The room itself it's large and opulent, but definitely built on dwarven scale. Please, come right on in. I was just enjoying some time here with my nephew.
Thank you so much for, allowing me to come in. You are Jacoby Blackhand.
Yes, sir, I am.
And, well, your reputation precedes you. I've heard a lot about you. Of course, spent plenty of time here in Venturis and ready to head back to the Caliban frontier. And
Oh, so you're actually from the frontier?
well, born and raised there. I haven't been there for now about 20 years, I think, but mostly
My
here in
goodness.
Venturis is where I've been working as a private detective, but my pa still lives there.
Well, isn't that just peachy? That'll be fantastic. So you'll know all the native customs to help out my dear nephew and the rest of the team.
Well, unless anything's really changed over the last 20 years or so, I'm sure certain customs have changed, but yeah, I should be able to fit in pretty well for you.
Well, most excellent. We are most excited to have you. And Gideon, was it?
It's Gideon.
Gideon, all right.
Block, yeah.
Good. Well, Mr. Block, your own reputation precedes you. I've followed your work for some time, and you've done very well for yourself.
I've tried. It's not been easy, but, I'm getting by as well as I can.
Well, the streets of Venturis can sometimes be a bit lawless, so we do need individuals such as yourself who are willing to stand up and make it known that certain behavior will not be tolerated.
Right, and that's the kind of thing I want to hopefully bring to the Caliban wilderness.
Well, of course, it's wide and untamed, and I can't say much for the people what live there, but is it true that the elves sometimes whip themselves up into such a frenzy that they go on massive raids?
The elves are different than most, especially here in the city. They do a lot of things that to us might seem foreign and a little bit crazy.
Mak'ren leans forward a little bit. You can tell he's just fascinated by this idea of different elves. Doesn't say anything, but his body language is really leaning into your knowledge.
I look over it to you, and I know I'm sorry I hadn't met. Gideon Block.
I'm Mak'ren Stoneshaper. I have also been hired.
Oh, Mak'ren. All right. Well, so you're going to be joining us on our little expedition.
Yes, I'm looking very much forward to it. Probably will be a principal record keeper.
Oh, good. Well, we could always use a good, strong dwarf. We worked well with the dwarves here in Venturis, and love having you around, so it'd be fantastic.
The Blackhand Company is a very honorable and well-known company. Kind of gives a little wink back to his uncle.
Jacoby just gives you a little nod. And yes, we have done much to try and bring prosperity and civilization to the wild places of Ratoya. It is my company that has built and maintains the rail lines, so we are very proud of our trains and of our lines. We hope to expand them out to provide prosperity and protection throughout the wild Caliban frontier. And as you're talking, the door to the office opens once again.
Excuse me, I am in search of Mr. Jacoby Blackhand's office, and I was hoping that you could point me in the right direction.
Well, why, my dear, you are in the right place. Please, come on in. Please, partake of the hospitality that we have here.
So, small, diminutive in size. It's unclear if it's a halfling or just a small human boy. Wearing human boy children's clothing, a red stocking hat covering her blonde hair, and she picks up this fine crystal glass with a level of comfort you wouldn't expect based on how she's dressed. Why, thank you. This is just mighty fine. Thank you so much, Mr. Blackhand.
Well, yes. And who might you be, my dear?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Excuse my manners. I'm Polly Leetief. Polly Leetief. Yep, that's definitely has always been my name since the day I was born.
Well, quite good to meet you, Miss Leetief.
Leetief.
Yes?
Leetief. Yes.
That's quite a unique name there.
Yeah, definitely not. Nope, not a. I've never heard any other name like it. Never.
I'm assuming that you're here for the mapping job.
Yes.
Excellent.
Outside of Venturis. I need a outside of Venturis.
Well, that's most understandable, Miss Leetief.
Yeah.
As it were.
Give me a deception check.
Deception's not great.
The first dice roll.
It is the first dice roll. Come on, Christmas buddy. Persuasion? No, deception. It's going to be a hearty 13.
A hearty 13.
Lucky 13.
So, Jacoby, he gives you a once-over and just, well.
You seem like a smart businessman. And just between you and me, there's a reason that I need to leave town and that I need my identity to remain in this room. And if that's fine and you're not gonna turn me in, then I can... And she just takes her hat off and her long blonde hair just kind of falls out of her hat.
Why, Miss Poppy Tealeaf.
And I would just be so grateful if my father didn't know I was here.
Well, I think you should probably let your papa know where you're going, Missy.
Or not.
But you are of the age where you should be making your own decisions. So, I'm not going to say one way or the other. I'm just going to tell you.
You can tell him that you met Polly Leateeth.
Polly Leateeth.
Who looked like a scrawny human boy who didn't look like me at all. And pull my hair back up and put the hat back on my head.
Well, as long as you understand what you're getting into.
Listen, it's this or marrying Byron Sweetgum, and I ain't getting married, so it's this.
All right, well, that's your choice, girl.
I wonder, just hearing this conversation, and I'm just wondering, we're not going to have to be watching our backs if your pa wants to send people to try and...
My father is a businessman. He is not a man of action. So I doubt once we leave town we'll ever even hear about it.
You don't think he's going to miss you?
Well, surely, but he won't know where I've gone. And he's not going to chase. He doesn't know where I've gone, so he can't chase me.
Okay.
I mean, maybe it'll come up, but I doubt it.
In the business world, Gideon, we call that plausible deniability. I did not meet Miss Poppy. I have no idea where Miss Poppy is currently because she's somewhere out in the Caliban wilderness. Plausible deniability.
Well, then it's glad to have you with us, Polly Leateeth.
Yeah, it's going to take a hot minute to start answering to that name. But I am just... very pleased that you have accepted me and not turned me into my father. He can make that deal with the Sweetgums without me having to marry that awful boy. He's awful.
And about that time, the door opens once again.
Does someone say plausible deniability? Ooh, Jacoby Blackhand in the flesh. Head of the Blackhand Rail. I feel like I'm amongst royalty. I don't know, should I bow or curtsy?
Well, I'm a fine gentleman, so I will accept whatever platitudes you feel like showering on my humble form.
Well, how about a handshake?
I'll settle for that, my friend. And you would be...
Xonimus Danar. Keep that Danar to yourself.
Well, welcome, Xonimus.
Nice office you got here.
I do my best.
Eyeballing those glasses of whiskey.
He slides one over towards you, keeping a very close eye on what you do with it.
Mm-hmm. Swirl it. So which one of you is making the map?
Mr. Mak'ren here is probably our best bet for actually doing the actual cartography.
Howdy.
How to do.
So, Mr. Xonimus, what's your specialty?
Finding things that people have lost.
Acquisitions and redistribution.
And plausible deniability.
Do you know the Leaf Tea family?
The Leaf Tea family.
They've lost some things, I've heard. And he kind of gives a little wink over at
They haven't lost
Polly.
nothing that they can't just go on living without instead of subjugating to an arranged marriage. I don't know what you're talking about.
He's just grinning, like just very mischievous, but like, I really like you type of grin. So,
Oh, Mak'ren, stop muddying the business transactions here. It's not good for business to insult one of your fine associates.
yes, Uncle. Sorry.
Goodness me, you've still got a lot of lessons to learn about business, young man.
This is your uncle, huh?
Yes,
I see the resemblance.
it's mostly in the
Hands?
eyes.
Oh.
so you do notice that Mak'ren is is fairly tall and thin for a dwarf. He's about 4'6", but only like 175 pounds. He's kind of scrawny, not quite beanpole, but not real muscular.
Okay.
Well, this is our team.
This is all. You don't have any more people coming along?
I figured that a light party would be able to cover more ground, as it were. And of course, there's always the line, the dwarven forts out in the frontier. We'll send word there, and you can expect reasonable assistance and accommodation from the united dwarven clans.
So where is it you want us to head first?
Heading out first, we'll be dropping you off at the last stop. It is the last major settlement on the frontier, the last stop on the rail line. It's as far as you can go, and that's as far as we know about the Caliban so far.
We'll be going through the mountains over to Zion.
Yeah, we're gonna send y'all through the Green Rest Pass, through Shag, through Zyson, and then on to the last stop. So there'll be a few more places where you can expect some creature comforts, but your journey will be absolutely free of charge. That is one of our guarantees for you. In addition, if y'all manage to map the frontier, 10,000 gold.
Each.
10,000 gold upon successful completion of a map of the Caliban frontier. A king's ransom.
I'd say so. Well, just wondering which that's upon completion. I'm just wondering about, per diem or any kind of expenses that we might have to incur.
I will be giving you all some pocket money to start y'all off. 125 gold apiece to cover your traveling expenses to the last stop and to cover any supplies that y'all might need once you get there. In addition, I'd like to treat y'all out to a night on the town. Give y'all a good 50 gold to spend tonight, wherever y'all like, here in Venturis. Because unfortunately, for some time, you will not be able to experience the creature comforts. And it'll also give y'all some time to get to know one another before the train leaves tomorrow morning.
The last stop that's been built within the last 20 years, so don't know much about it. What can you tell us about that?
Oh, it's a fine little settlement. As I said, it's quite literally the last stop before you head out into the wilderness, so it has flourished with business and commerce and still has quite the unique makeup for the Caliban, but from what I hear tell, it is a fine little place. And you can find your typical goods for the frontier, keep y'all supplied as you start your journey.
What arrangements for travel have been made? How are we getting there?
You'll be put up in one of the passenger cars on the Blackhands Rail line.
And there's a bar car nearby, right?
There will be some spirits available.
When you talk about the Blackhand Rail Line, is that the only rail line, or there's several different ones, or is he just basically the sole owner of all trains that go in and out?
So he is the rail manager, which basically means he is over all of the rail lines. The Blackhands clan does own and control the rail lines.
Okay.
There's another dwarven clan that makes the trains. But as far as the actual ownership and management of the lines, it's not necessarily him personally, but it is his clan. Well, I would say now's a fine time to seal our little business agreement. What say you all?
Well, I'm in, if anybody else is.
Uncle, you know I'm in, or out, as it may be.
What about you, Poppy?
Well, with 10,000 gold, I could buy my father's company and just tell him who he can and cannot talk to. So that sounds great.
Honest work with a big payoff? Yeah, I'll give it a go.
Excellent. And he goes into the cabinet once more of fine spirits and pulls out very fine aged whiskey that he pours into 5 cups. And
I put my hand over the cup.
oh, I'm sorry, it's tradition.
I'll take
I
yours.
understand.
As you wish. He raises up his glass to new friends, to new opportunities, and to the prosperity of all individuals everywhere. And he salutes you all, knocks it back.
I nervously, and drink that down and just...
I'm thinking there's a pitcher of water. I'll just take a pitcher of water and fill it. And
I'm going to motion my glass to Gideon. Friends.
to new friends, certainly.
Well, my friends, why don't we go enjoy ourselves for one last big night on the town?
Blackhands, rail manager of the Blackhands Rail Company, has brought you all together for one nigh impossible task. Map the Kalban frontier. Tonight is your last night in what some would consider the most civilized city on the continent. Jacoby has given you all a collective pot of 50 gold to treat yourselves. Head out on the town, see the sights, soak it up, enjoy it. Now meet you all bright and early tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock on the dot. So, you all have 50 gold and a city to take on. What would you like to do?
Well, first thing I'd like to do is Xonimus is going to challenge himself to have the greatest night he's ever had in his life and still end it as close to 50 gold in his pocket as he can.
Well, it's a collective pot of 50 gold for all of you.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
We have to share.
Oh, well, that changes everything.
that changes everything.
How much would that be a person? It's about, what?
You do the math.
Yeah.
Poppy and I here. You want to get another drink?
I don't think I should. My father didn't let me drink, and that one very large whiskey, and I need to be as discreet as possible, if you know what I mean, while we are here in Venturis. There are many people who would love to take me back to my father in hopes of a reward,
What kind of reward?
nominal to the 10,000 gold that you're going to get when we complete this mission.
You're smarter than you look. Well, they have more than whiskey. Let's go.
Before we head out, I need to find, I know there's a temple to Daga, right? And I need to head over there. And I just go over to the coffers and I put down 2 gold pieces.
Okay.
And then walk back and join the group.
Yeah, let's say shrines to Daga are very easy to find, being one of the major goddesses of the region. So it's very easy for you to find one that you can very subtly just place the gold in and go about your business.
Now, did we all tithe to that kitty, or was that just you?
That was just me.
So I see we have an accountant.
I don't know about
And-
accountant. I just like money.
And I'm not sure if I would trust him with the books.
Oh,
I'm good with numbers.
And things that fall off trucks or carts, as they were.
Wagons.
wait, he's not an investigator. He said he was good at finding things.
And I'm sure he could find you just about anything you could possibly want. Now, whether or not what he finds for you is legal, that might be a different story.
And you see kind of this realization on Mak'ren's naive face that, like, he's a thief.
He's a
take a-
procurer of things, but yeah.
I take offense to the word, sir. Many things.
I've had supper with many a businessman, and I will tell you there is a fine line between a thief and businessman.
That is true.
Speaking of supper, where should we go?
Well, Xonimus, where would you like to partake?
What's the loudest place I hear?
That's going to be the Lonely Goat.
And that is not in the high class part of the city, right?
Oh, no.
Okay, just double checking.
Oh, no. Yeah, it is a fine little hole in the wall that seems to be packed tight with various individuals. They are having themselves a raucous good time. The drink is flowing, the coins are clinking, the girls are pretty, and the boys are too.
This looks like a good place to get lost.
And don't get too lost, but yeah, the Lonely Goat's obviously a great place. Good choice.
Now, having such a prestigious uncle, you don't get recognized a lot when you're out on the street, do you?
Well, no, as you can tell, we don't have a whole lot in common. I'm a Stoneshaper, he's a Blackhand, but
Right. Okay.
And I'm deliberately set out to not get recognized, so do not bank on using the Tealeaf hospitality.
Don't try too hard. It makes you stick out.
I'm just a lost little human boy. I don't know what you're talking about.
And I don't think it's unusual at all that we're walking around with a lost little human boy.
And a bright red hat.
I like this hat.
All right, son, let's go in here and get you your first drink.
Yeah, you step in to the Lonely Goat, and true to its name, there is actually a very fantastic mountain goat that has been taxidermied and placed over the bar.
And he looks quite lonely.
He looks the face, something happened in the process, and so the face just looks very sad and just very, oh no, I'm here by myself.
Those rectangular pupils, they just go right to your heart.
And Gideon pulls up the hood of his duster and heads off into the corner. Finds us a table, but it's a little bit in the darkness.
Yeah, you find yourself a nice corner table where no one's going to bother you. It's a most unusual night. Venturis, even though it's the capital city of Ratoya, doesn't often see very many orcs. But you notice that there's actually a couple here in the bar. Some people are kind of trying to, buy them drinks and make them feel hospitable and welcome because they're handing out flyers.
Mak'ren kind of saddles right up there and, hey, friend, what you selling?
We are selling the finest show in town tonight. And he hands you the flyer, and you see it's for the Kalban Gunfighters. Seems to be a combination circus and rodeo.
And is the location close to where we're at now?
Fairly close. Yeah, boss told us to pass these out. This is our last night in town. And some people in the bar are like, no! We've loved the show. We want to see it again. Well, tonight is your last chance. So y'all better come on down here about an hour before the show starts. They hand these flyers out to everyone in the bar, kind of leave a few on the bar itself. And all right, boys, I think we've canvassed this place right well and good. Let's go on to the next one. Bring your friends.
Look here, guys. It's exactly where we're going. I mean, later.
We're going there?
Well, the Caliban frontier, we could get, like a cultural check and stuff. We could find out what it's like.
Oh, darling, honey, that aren't entirely accurate, if you know what I mean.
It could be a little bit misleading, but if that's what you want to check out, we're here for Xonimus to have a couple of drinks, then maybe we could do a little bit of entertainment over at the Gunfighters Circus and Rodeo thing, if that's...
As long as they have something to drink, I'm good for it. I'll have this one here. You run up there and pay for it. I'll finish it off.
Gideon goes up, still hooded.
Hey, Poppy.
Polly.
Polly. I don't know where I got Poppy from.
At least while we're here in Venturis.
So tell me, dude, what do you make of Gideon?
I mean, he seems like a law-abiding fella.
Yeah, that worry you?
No, should it?
Out here, where we're going, things we'll see.
I don't quite
Choices
understand.
we may have to make.
Well, I hope we don't have to make any of them. What kind of choices? I mean, I'm looking for adventure, but I don't necessarily desire much in the way of conflict.
Yeah, adventure. That's what I'm in it for.
Meanwhile, over at the bar, Mak'ren says to Gideon, it's on that Santos thing. You think he can be trusted? You think he really is a thief, like Poppy said?
I don't know if I'd call him a thief so much as an opportunist. I think you could trust him a little bit, but I wouldn't go too far, if you know what I mean.
Well, some people, you just have to give them a chance,
Well, certainly possible for people to change. And we certainly believe that everybody is entitled to redemption. Everyone's got a past.
If you don't mind me saying, I saw you slip a couple coins in that Dogga shrine as we walked by.
Yeah, they have pulled me out of a bit of a mess that I found myself in. And as far as I'm concerned, the message that Dogga sends of light and knowledge, it's all right. Maybe if we have to bring that to the Caliban frontier, maybe that's something good we can do.
I think most people are given their talents so that they can do good.
I agree.
Sometimes maybe, all the bureaucracy and stuff gets in the way, but I can see your point.
Yeah.
Should we go back and bring these drinks over to the others? He's looking thirsty again.
Yeah, I've asked for a glass of water. Let's go and sit and... Here you go. I paid a little bit more for this. I'm going to throw down a few more extra of the gold pieces for Xonimus. So here, this is supposed to be one of the best whiskeys in the Lonely Goat. At least in the Lonely Goat. I wouldn't say it's the best in Venturis, but,
As I take it, I'll glance back over at Poppy.
It's probably fine.
Oh, I know it is. I have no doubt. Not a doubt in the world. Nice, straight, clean shot of whiskey. Nice, straight, and clean.
Mak'ren's just watching him
Throw it
close.
Well, you wouldn't want a crooked, dirty whiskey, would you?
You ever had it?
No? I'm very confused by your metaphor.
You are going to have an adventure out here, aren't you?
Are we talking about actual whiskey, or is this a kind of... I feel like I'm missing something.
Just talking about whiskey. Expensive whiskey, cheap whiskey, dirty whiskey. One time.
I think I'll just have some water.
You haven't lived till you picked up a flask and not known what was in it. Took a big tug on it.
I'm
I've been there.
quite... I I don't know how to put this delicately. I don't know, maybe you didn't notice, I'm quite small. This means that I cannot drink as much as, say, you or even Mak'ren. We had the one earlier, and if I'm being totally honest, that was the first drink I've ever had, so I think I'm just gonna take it easy. Some water.
You had your first drink tonight?
I am a lady.
She had her first drink tonight. That's cause for celebration. Another round.
Hey!
Okay.
So you get a few cheers from like the rest of the bar. It's like, hey!
Yes.
They don't really know what they're cheering for. They're just cheering.
I am a young human boy getting his first drink.
Oh, shit. We're getting them drunk tonight. I'll wink at you. But really.
A few random drinks arrive at the table, just out of nowhere.
These are all for you. You can just have them all. Maybe one of them is dirty whiskey.
Maybe.
One's got a little worm in it.
You're missing out. Your adventure starts right here.
I think at least while we're in the city, I need to keep my head on my shoulders.
Like all things, though, practice. Next thing you know, you'll be drinking that dwarf under the table.
I don't think so. But thank you for your confidence.
So, as your time at the Lonely Goat comes to a close, the time for the Caliban Gunfighters Circus and Rodeo draws near.
Howdy friends, Michael Cross here, taking just a few moments away from RedDirtDND, asking you to become a patron of this podcast. Your support means we can add a lot of extra niceties to the show in the form of artwork and music, as well as supporting our cast and crew. Patrons get early access to content as well as bonus material, along with access to our Discord server. You can even get an invite to monthly Q&A sessions and DM classes, maybe even a 2-hour game session with our very own Dungeon Master, Ash King. We have 6 different monthly levels to choose, ranging from $5 to $100. Head over to patreon.com/RedDirtDND right now to show your support for this new podcast. Now, back to Tales from the Caliban Frontier.
Stepping out of the Lonely Goat, after partaking of some libations for the evening, you find yourselves headed to the Venturis Fairgrounds. It's close enough to the railway station that bringing items from the trains is a fairly easy task, but the fairgrounds has been decorated by a series of large corrals and tents. A large banner over the top proclaims, "The Caliban Gunfighters, the wildest show that you'll ever see," proclaiming that they have brought orcs, elves, dragonborn, and other flora and fauna native to the Caliban frontier for your entertainment. And in a not small font, you see a sponsored by the Blackhands Rail Company.
See, I knew it'd be a good show right there. Look, Blackhands Rail Company.
So you can get us in, right?
I might be able to,
And children get in free, I assume.
Under 12, I think is what that sign says.
So one of Mak'ren's background things is courtier. It's a hybrid with guild artisan, and it says that he knows how bureaucracies and the inner workings of courts and governments, and he knows who the movers and shakers are. Not that he automatically knows stuff, but at least he kind of knows who to go ask.
Right.
So he kind of looks around and sees if there seems to be like a stage manager or somebody,
you see a ticket booth.
Yep. So he saunters over there and says, "Howdy, I'm Mak'ren Stoneshaper. Jacoby's my uncle. Me and my party, we're here to do the inspection."
The inspection?
Yeah, we got to make sure that you guys are up to Blackhand Rail Company standards.
Give me a deception.
Can I help?
We will need it. It's a natural 2 on the dice.
Can I really help?
I was thinking about helping with my knowledge of high class, but then he went a totally different direction.
Is the word inspection.
The half-orc at the ticket booth kind of looks you up and down, Inspector
inspector, you say?
Right. Inspector of Entertainment Quality.
I am behind...
You're not the first dwarf what come around here throwing around the name of the Blackhands Company what trying to get into the show for free.
Oh, it's real. Like, he really is. He's my uncle, Uncle Jacoby.
Uh-huh, right.
Can I get an insight check onto the fact that he's not buying any of this at all?
Yeah, you can try.
I'm going to
well,
take my
good thing
hat
so.
and put it in my
Yeah,
pocket.
Just a 9?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, even with that, you do just get that, so this is the half-orc who works the ticket booth, right? They've seen it all. In terms of people, trying to use whatever they can to try and get into the show for free. So they are, at this point, just done. It's the last night of the show. These yokels, what keep coming around trying to get in for free. I'm sick of it.
How much are the tickets?
They're not too bad. Yeah.
Gold piece?
Yeah, gold piece apiece.
Anyway, I put down 4 gold pieces saying, let's just head on in and we'll deal with... And it's not even part of the pool money. You can still have that for your whiskey there. Xonimus, don't worry about that.
Thank
Very
you.
good.
As they take your money and very clearly, especially since you were trying to get in for free, they bite it, trying to make sure it's actual, okay, these are actual coins and not, a paper clip and some chewing gum. And they give you the tickets for the show. Enjoy.
Polly, after you.
Oh, okay.
Mak'ren kind of, stumbles along after, muttering to himself, I don't understand. I thought he said he fixed everything. It doesn't make any sense.
We're going to go looking around. Is there a first-class seating area? Can I see? Or is it just really a lot of blue-collar dudes?
Yeah, it's mostly it's mostly blue collar. It very much is an arena show. You see that there's a couple of private boxes that have been established, but you get a feeling that those are probably for extra special guests.
For sure.
So
We're gonna avoid those. Let's just go on down here near the front where there's lots of people. We can just hide right in the crowd.
You're wanting to hang out with the groundlings, is what you're saying.
If I can avoid being identified, that would be ideal.
Well, just hang out with us. You're pretty much short enough to where hopefully enough people won't see you.
That is
and you're looking like just a kid that we're
just a human boy.
Your dads are bringing you to.
I have 3 fathers. We are a progressive family.
I'm gonna wave down the peanut barker and get some honey roasted nuts.
that you can. They've brought basically what someone in Venturis would think of as delicacies from the frontier. So it's it's your peanuts, but also kind of some cashews, some macadamia nuts. So it's an interesting mix, and it's not something that people around here get every day. So they're upcharging a little bit.
I'll hand some to Polly. Here you go. This will counteract that drink you had.
I am just so grateful. That's mighty fine of you. Chomp chomp.
Now, yeah, as you guys are kind of getting settled in, so this is very much kind of in the same vein as, Buffalo Bill's Wild West show. They start off with a huge opening where basically they all come in riding various horses that, again, look very, they're all decked out in the traditional tack of elven and orcish riders. The riders themselves, Xonimus and Gideon, you two can especially tell, and especially you, Gideon, being from the call band originally. They are all kind of some flavor of either half elven or half orc or half elf, half orc. You don't necessarily see a lot of what you would consider full bloods. There's a couple here and there just to kind of give it that air of authenticity, but they are definitely putting on a show and playing up those stereotypes of what people out here in the East think. That what does an elf look like? What does an orc look like? But you can tell they're all very skilled trick riders. This is what they do for a living.
And it's obvious, I'm guessing from what he knows, is this is more of a caricaturization of the frontier, not the frontier itself.
Exactly.
This is what you would see in the magazines of the time.
Exactly. Yeah, they're very much Buffalo Bill's Wild West show, where they're a series of different kind of acts orcs and different like stages of, at one point they actually bring out, it is actually an Auroch. The Aurochs that the orcs drive. They actually have a couple of them that they kind of bring out and do simulated drives and showing this is how, and here presenting the great Auroch drive by the orcs of the Caliban frontier. And they're talking it up, they're talking about the different stages of, how do the orcs get these massive long-horned oxen to behave. And again, it's very clear that the handlers know what they're doing. There is a little bit of like the actual frontier in it, so it's just enough truth to actually, some parts of it kind of ring true, but the presentation of it is again very, very, very hokey, very showmanship.
See, I knew it'd be great.
I figured, I thought you might like this.
Yeah, I was like,
this is really right up your alley.
Having absolutely you, Mak'ren, and Poppy having absolutely no context. You're enjoying this show. It's a good show.
He's calling over the food vendor. He's calling over, the drink vendor. It's just a constant stream of supply that he passes down our row or just, pauses and drinks for himself. Mak'ren is really enjoying himself. He's having a good time here at this place.
And while things are going on, if there is anything that I see that's familiar, I'm kind of helping him out to go explain what the Aurochs are.
Yeah, but say the Aurochs look, like at first they look very intimidating because, again, think about like a longhorn cattle.
Right.
But like the size of a bison.
Yes.
And especially for you as a dwarf. That's even, because you guys you managed to get a seat pretty close to the ring. So, you're getting the kick up of the dust and, sometimes these creatures pass, pretty close next to, just close enough that, you might be worried for a second. But, at the last minute, it kind of, turns away.
It's okay, Paula. You actually get used to the smell after a while.
I feel like the smell would just be a little bit better if I was just a little bit not in direct line.
I'd take that up with Mak'ren. He really wanted to be close up.
I'm just going to shuffle through my bag, pull out, anything in my bag that would be sturdy enough for me to stand on, and try to... I have, one book, and...
That's it. You kind of try and look for something, but unless you've got, literally a stool in there...
I have one book, and it gets me, an inch and a half taller. Just trying to get above the level of these cow heinies.
If you'd like, I could put you on my shoulder.
That would be ideal.
And
I was not going to do that.
I just put her up on my shoulders like I would my kid.
Yeah, that's it.
That's awesome.
Give me an athletics check.
I have only 35 pounds.
Actually, it's only an 11.
Well, I was like, even with an 11, it kind of takes a second because it's figuring out the awkward, Poppy's like, what do I do?
Little
and
hairy halfling feet right at your eye level as you lift her up.
But yeah, you can comfortably hold her for
I
a
am
time.
a lady. I do not have hairy feet.
They are perfectly well groomed. Thank you very much.
Nice.
But yeah, the show kind of again continues with various displays and demonstrations of.
It smells so much better up here.
I'm glad I could help. And if anyone's looking, there's this little bit of a sadness in his eyes as he's holding Poppy on his shoulders.
I just hold on to his ears. Or his hood. If his hood is up, I guess I would hold on to his hood. And adjust my hat and make sure all the hair is in there.
All right.
See anything interesting from up there?
Probably not.
But smell is better.
The smell is so distinctly better. It is much better to look at the cows from up here than at directly eye level to, a lady doesn't use that kind of language.
Oh, of course. I will say, though, trying to hide like you are, because hiding places are stinky.
Just until we're out of town, it's fine.
Okay.
I pull her hat down so hard. I'm looking through the holes in the knit pattern.
Well, as the show goes on, eventually they move on to trick shooting. Woohoo! And one half-elven woman kind of comes out with a shotgun slinged over her shoulder and just says, "Can I get a volunteer from the crowd for this next trick?"
We all look over at Mak'ren. Oh, no, we're going to look over at... Oh,
Mak'ren points
no,
at
it's okay.
Mak'ren points at Xanthus for sure. He's like, oh, right here, with this guy. He could do it.
With my hands up. Almost with a skip in my step.
She smiles at you and says, "Are you a brave man?"
Oh, yeah.
And she kind of pulls out of a pouch on her belt a little tin. She clicks open. You see it's the rolled, kind of the classic rolled cigarettes. I'd like to shoot this right out your mouth. You think I could do it?
I believe in you.
She hands it to you. Why don't you take about 50 paces that away?
50 paces? 50, huh?
Yes, indeed.
Using that long rifle there?
Oh, yes.
Got a light?
She pulls out a match, strikes it against her cheek, and lifts it up. All part of the show, dear.
All right.
And it is some pretty good quality, like, tobacco. So it's not just, your typical...
So this is my final cigarette. I'm satisfied.
Of course.
All right.
Mak'ren yells,
Take your time with it, Xonimus. You don't want it too short.
I guarantee you I have not lost one yet.
About halfway into 50 feet, I'm going to turn around and say, yet.
She just flashes that huge showman smile.
38, 39, 50.
What, you don't trust me?
Oh, I don't want to make you angry, ma'am. No way. So I'll go to the 50. I'm leaning in, leaning out, my lips leaning out, regretting that I lit this thing and smoked it on the way down here because now it is much shorter than it was when it started.
Mr. Gideon, now what culture is this, actually, Mr. Gideon?
Well, this is just a little bit of a show, you understand. She knows what she's doing. I don't think there's any problem here.
Give me a constitution check.
he's shaking or not.
18.
18, okay. So you kind of get into that, you kind of breathe for a second, and the tobacco helps a little bit. Kind of keep you calm as she takes this rifle.
I'm going to reach up and pull off my hat.
Takes very careful aim. Fires a shot. First shot goes wild.
Oh, no.
Oh, for real.
Hits your hat.
And he's holding down behind him.
Again, it's all part of the show. I'm sure that this was just part of it. This is
It looks like a pretty honest miss.
right. Well, you try to engage the crowd.
And your voice starts to shake because Poppy is just shaking so hard.
I'm gonna put my hat back on. I'm gonna pull my revolver out. And I'm going to extend my arm and do that thing where you click it down all the way down your arm. And as I do, I'm just going to look her dead in the eye. Twirl it, holster it, wink, and leave the hat on this time.
She just gives you a smirk. There we go.
I know when I'm being toyed with.
This one hits dead center. Shoots it right out of your mouth. I say, and she does come back up towards you and holds out the cigarette case for your bravery.
Oh. Thank you.
There are 4 remaining. As she kind of takes a bow as the crowd just erupts.
I'm going to walk off looking at the hole in my hat.
It's a pretty decent hole.
Well, there's just a souvenir.
Should have had her sign it.
Oh, she did. I will never forget this.
Mak'ren's ordered another round of drinks in celebration. You survived!
Indeed I did.
Yeah, the night wears on and the main show comes to a close. One final big stampede of all the various performers and horses and
Other sundry folk.
When the applause starts, as it's closing up, if no one has done it yet, I'm going to pull pistol and fire in the air.
Oh yeah, there's a few people who are going out, guns firing.
Yosemite Sam style.
Yeah.
But the main show may be over, but the after party goes on. There is a collection of various tents, and they seem to have kind of set up some meet and greet areas, but also kind of a bit of a midway, actually. So it's not just a rodeo, it's a circus. And there's other entertainments for the night.
Mak'ren, would you like to kind of take a peek behind the curtain, as it were, and see kind of some of the people that were involved in some of the show you were just looking at?
Mak'ren, has the slightest bit of a wobble. And he says, we tried that once already. It didn't work.
Don't worry, now we're allowed.
Oh, well, I'd be looking for to look at that then. So he wanders over there and pulls back the curtain.
Okay.
I mean, you can stop him if he's misunderstood. You can be like, wait.
Well,
You kind of pull open a random curtain, and there's a hey.
I meant this way, Mak'ren, right over here.
As you see this half orc who's like changing, they shoot the curtain closed.
Pardon
Employees
us,
only.
ma'am. We're really sorry, ma'am. He's had a little bit too much to drink, and we thank you. A great show tonight, and we're gonna go now. Mak'ren, this way.
Sorry.
We walk into the midway area.
Yeah, but say you see there's kind of some various games of chance and skill. There's one area labeled the storyteller's tent, and then the menagerie, where they have set up some various. You do see that there's a younger, looks like an Auroch's calf that is kind of a petting zoo type area.
I'm going to pull on Xonimus's sleeve. I would very much like to pet the tiny, smelly thing.
That's a mighty big step.
I'm not scared of it. I love animals.
Stinky animals?
This one is smaller. Its stinky end is not directly in front of my nose.
Okay.
I just want to pet it. It's very cute.
Well, let's go.
Thank you.
My son would like to pet you.
So you see the orc that's kind of tending to some of the various animals just kind of will step on up. He's very docile.
I pet him.
They can smell fear.
I'm not scared of it.
Okay.
So yeah, you see this young, again, it's just a young little Auroch's calf, and it kind of nuzzles into your hand. The half orc kind of approaches you and holds out. He's got a handful of feed.
I take it and I hold it out, and while he is eating his little nuggets, what is its name? Does it have a name?
This one we call Skyrunner.
Oh my good gracious. I love him.
You see,
so
he's
much.
got the lightning pattern. He kind of points out on this calf's little coat. There's these jagged, zigzagging stripes.
Eat all of his nuggets, and then I just hug him around the neck because I presume he's like a little bit bigger than me, but not like a lot.
I mean, yeah, it's like it's like when you're when you've got a 3-year-old with like a cane corso.
Yes.
Big, massive thing, small, adorable child, and you just like grab it around the nose, and it's like rifling through your bag now, trying to look for more treats.
Thank you. I quite appreciate it. I could die happy now.
We'll see more of them where we're going.
Don't make promises you don't intend to keep, Gideon.
I promise you, we'll see more of these.
You haven't got out of the city much, have you?
No, I saw an animal once, and I asked my governess what it was, and she said it was she called it a dilla. I believe, upon looking in my book, that she meant an armadillo, and I loved him, and I tried to convince him to be my friend, and she said, no, he's gonna give you leprosy, and I just wanted to feed him, but he ran away, and it was very sad. I just wanted him to be my friend. Are we gonna see any?
We'll see some armadillos, yeah.
Can we convince an armadillo to be my friend?
I'm sure we can.
Because they are small like me and very cute.
You seem to really like the animals.
I do love them. I was never allowed to have any because that's not ladylike, because they're smelly, but I love them.
Well, Polly, I promise you one thing. Where we're going, you don't have to worry about being ladylike.
That's just wonderful. It's exactly what I'm looking for.
And animals, as far as the eye can see.
And then I'm going to release him from my hug and then just spit really hard off to the side to try to not be a lady.
That's a good start.
We'll work on that. We'll work on that.
So the orc just kind of tilts his head and city folk.
Do I spy the lovely lady who owes me a hat?
You do. You say she is, she's kind of got her own little booth there. Because guns, they're kind of on the rise, you know, for people to have them, but they're not so common just yet that people are very curious about them.
Like iPhones in the 2000s.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, so she's kind of got her, she has her various accoutrements. Yeah. Assembled kind of on a table, and she's talking to people about them, and you know, here's how I have to break it down, take care of it.
Hi.
Well, hello, stranger.
Let me ask you a question. Do you know how much a new hat's going to cost me?
I would say it depends on the quality of your hat.
You're right. You a gambling lady?
Always.
Well, let's have a contest.
Name your terms.
What do you shoot out here for practice? 10 can on a post?
Preferably.
All right. If you outshoot me, I'll eat my hat. I outshoot you, you fetch me a new one before you leave town.
I think that is a fair deal.
You got somebody to watch your booth for you?
Yeah.
All right.
She actually kind of nods over to one of the other hands. He kind of comes over to keep an eye on things, and she takes you out to kind of what looks like, you know, just their practice area. And she sets up a total of 10 cans.
Mm-hmm.
What do you favor?
Well, I only have one gun, and it only shoots 6 times.
Then I too will favor the revolver. She kind of moves aside her duster, and you see the revolver on her belt. She sets up a total of 10 cans on a bench. You want to flip, see who goes first?
Please, be my guest.
Why, quite the gentleman.
Mm-hmm. So my goal here is when she hits a can, if it goes flying up, I want to quick draw and hit it before it lands.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm either going to go...
This will be super
I'm
impressive.
either going down in history or I'm eating a hat.
All right.
Mak'ren maybe says a little bit too loud. Is this a duel?
No, oh no, I'm sorry, no. No, well, you'll find out.
All right, so she's going to pull the revolver from her belt and very quickly bring the hammer back, and that's a hit.
Okay, I'm going to try and hit that can.
Okay.
All right.
So basically the DC to hit a can is just a base 10 because it's just a 10 can.
Mm-hmm.
But in order to hit it, since it's a moving object, we're going to increase it.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll and see if you hit.
Okay. Oops, it bounced. Is that a...
That's a 12, but
17?
it also didn't roll as intended.
17 total? Yeah. No. Yeah, you quick draw, pull that revolver.
I'm sorry, was that one yours?
Quite the shot yourself there, Mr. Stranger.
Thank you.
She fires again. Not quite as finessed of a shot, but another one goes flying.
Yeah, it did go flying? Mm-hmm. All right. So I'll quickly... So 19.
19.
Ooh.
Yeah, but say you, as it's circling through the air, you pow, straight through it. And she looks over at you. It's just, I thought the purpose of this was to see who shot the most.
You've hit all yours, I've hit all mine. Do you want to call it a draw here? Just walk away?
No.
Respectable.
No, let's see what happens. Oop. Ah, she actually misses this time. You seem to have shaken her confidence just slightly.
Well, then I'll just shoot at a can on the fence. 19 again.
Yep. If I say stationary object, well, she's going to try the same trick.
Okay. I like this one.
Doesn't seem to make it.
Ah, nice.
She growls a little in frustration.
That puts me up 2. Is that right?
Puts you up 1.
She shot and missed.
Yeah, she shot twice and hit. Once missed. You shot her 2 cans
Right.
and one of your own.
And then she shot the one of my own and missed. Mm-hmm. So she's missed twice.
2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2.
Don't math me. What's the square root of -1?
Don't math me.
Because there's been, I would say there's been 5, basically 5 total. No, 3 cans that have been shot so far. Mm-hmm. And 2 shots. Missed twice.
She's missed
You missed
twice.
twice. You haven't missed any.
I haven't missed any. That's what I'm looking at. I've hit. She shot the reaction.
Okay.
We're still in the middle of that round. It's still
Okay.
nice, yeah.
So it's your show.
So I'm going to whip out a dagger. And 10
10?
to hit a tin can with my dagger.
Okay. I mean, it bounces off, but
Okay, but I hit it.
yeah, the tin can just
That-
kind of goes.
That one won't count. You're down one. Well, keep that skill going.
Well,
Your
aren't-
shot.
Aren't you a fine gentleman? I seem to have been thrown off my game.
There's been lots of drinking going on tonight. That happens.
I think it seems like I owe you a new hat.
All right. I'll holster my weapon.
What do you favor?
I'll just pull mine off and kind of wiggle it in front of me.
I'll see what I can scrounge up.
Oh, just scrounge up. All right. I'm going to keep this hat. See what you scrounge up. I'm going to go find my son and make my way back around a little bit.
You do that. It's easy to lose the little ones around here.
That was mighty impressive, Pa.
One day I will show you how to shoot too, son.
I think we're doing good.
No one suspects a thing.
No one.
Yeah,
I need
you
a
just
drink.
keep telling yourself that.
I need a drink.
Here you go. Mak'ren has like 4. He's coming back from the thing. He's got like 4 of each. He's like, here you go.
That's a good thing.
When we get out there in the wild, never refuse a drink from a dwarf.
I don't think that's a thing.
Mak'ren.
Oh, it's most
Why
definitely
did I
a thing,
say it
little
like
lady.
you?
Most definitely a thing. I mean, young man. Most definitely a thing.
Gideon just shakes his head. It's not a thing.
I saw it on the flyer
How
back
much
there
did
at
you
the info
see Gideon
tent.
drink tonight?
Well, none.
Whose advice are you going to take on drinking?
Well, I would take Gideon's advice on not drinking, which seems to be the question.
Well, we're not giving you advice on not drinking. Where are the peanuts? What'd you find?
Just the concession booth.
Turkey leg.
All right.
It's good. Don't tell Poppy, but I think lightning bolt, sky thunder, runner thing. I think his mom's on the concession stand. Little numbers, they're tasty.
Oh.
I say Auroch meat is very popular.
And
I
tasty.
just look over with a mouthful. What?
Tasty.
Oh, nothing. We weren't talking about anything. You just enjoy your drink there, Paulie.
Chicken.
Talk about all the animals you're going to make friends with.
I'm just
Get out.
so excited.
Later, we'll tell you how to get that food on those white sticks.
My goodness.
Shish kebab. Auroch shish kebab.
They went through all the trouble to put this food on these little white sticks.
It's very impressive.
It's so they're portable, you see.
Right.
So yeah, there's still numerous booths to explore.
You
games
said there
to-
was a story time.
a storyteller's tent. Yes.
What's the story? Let's. You want to go check out the storyteller's tent?
I do love
Tent?
a
Yeah.
good story.
Storyteller's tent.
I need to kill some time.
Yeah, it's an interesting tent. It's actually, even to you, Gideon, not very familiar with the exact construction of it. Seems to be from a culture that not even you have experienced before. But pulling aside the tent flap, you find that sitting around a central little campfire, this kind of seems to be where all of the youngins have congregated, because you see sitting in a place of honor on a bit of a raised platform, dragon, lizard, human.
Pardon us. We're looking for the storyteller's tent.
And as I say, you have found it. Come, sit by my fire. I will tell you tales.
I'm game if everyone else is.
I'm already on the floor with all of the other children.
Crisscross
trying to blend in.
applesauce?
Yes.
You keep your hands and feet to yourself now.
Sure thing, Paul.
And one of the, let's say one of the little human children kind of pipes up and just. So you were saying about the big dragon. Yes, little one. I tell you the tale of Thundercrack. And it's hard to tell, but you can tell that he's definitely a creature of age. He's much older, and he throws this, what you think is sand, into the campfire. But he uses it to actually kind of form up and create this image of this rearing brass dragon. And the kids are all, ooh.
That totally catches Mak'ren's attention, and he just kind of shuffles back in and plops down next to Poppy. Just says, "Ugh." He's totally enthralled now.
Out in the desert, hidden from all other eyes, the lair of mighty Thundercrack. She is the guardian of the wilderness, and it is by her leave that we can explore the depths of the desert.
The kids are just, ooh, yes. Thundercrack knows she can look into the heart of a desert explorer and see if they are doing good or doing ill. And if she sees that you are doing good, she will ensure that fair winds come your way and that the great desert storms do not harry you. But if she sees that you are doing ill, she will make every step of your journey terrible. The winds will whip you, the sand will strike you, and you will find no water. You're familiar with this, Gideon.
I was wondering if I'd heard of Thundercrack before. So, dragon of, do we know what type?
Said to be a brass dragon.
Brass dragon.
It was kind of one of those your pa used to, when the winds would rattle the house, scare you as a young child. He would tell you, oh, don't worry, that's Thundercrack. And if you're a good boy, go to sleep like you're supposed to. She won't eat you. But if you decide to go out there and all this mess, she'll snap you right up.
And those tales would keep me in my bed.
So these children are leaning very much into this story that this dragon man is weaving. And he's telling the tale just as much with his hands and with the shapes that he is forming in the smoke of his campfire.
And Mak'ren tries to identify this. He does like an arcane check, maybe, to see what kind of setup that is. It is a modified 19.
19? Maybe just kind of prestidigitation or some equivalent thereof. It's not a very complicated effect, but to a 5-year-old,
Super cool.
it's awesome.
Yeah, he's just totally watching her or him manipulate the sand into these shapes and stuff.
Yeah,
It's
and the
really
smoke
cool.
and the
Yes.
kind of getting some interesting colors as he tells the story of Thundercrack and of this great dragon who all in the Kalban know to fear and be reverent of. But after a short while, his story kind of comes to a close, and he leans down and brings up a big, kind of jug of water as the kids start to file out of the tent. But he kind of regards the four of you with a special interest and, welcome. You were not here when I started my tales.
Howdy. No, we just stepped in, and we hope you don't mind. It's a fascinating tale. This one took me back to my childhood. I thank you for that.
You are most welcome. Come, sit by my fire. Relax.
Go on, John. Sit.
The noise of the outside, it can be too much.
Mak'ren rolls a natural 3 as he says, "We just came to help the young half-human child boy to see the story."
Oh,
He's had too much to drink. You'll have to forgive his slurring.
it is fine. Many of his type I have seen quite in their cups.
Yeah, me and my three dads were just enjoying the story so much. It's a great story, but is it real?
Oh, Thundercrack is very real.
Well, that just sounds really scary.
Well,
She guards the holiest of places in the Kalban.
and she's only scary if you're an evildoer. I mean, that's kind of the point, is if you do good, she'll take care of you.
Oh, interesting.
There's right, there's wrong, there's good, and there's evil. They're not all on the same side.
It's an interesting development. I have things to think about.
Plan you a journey into the Kalban.
Yeah, we're heading into the Kalban, tomorrow morning? Or back to the Kalban, in my case.
Mak'ren kind of
Hopefully.
looks over his shoulder at the announcer walking by out in the midway. And then he's back to what we're doing here. He's like, oh, hey, 9 o'clock, I think.
Hopefully Thundercrack can look inside and see that we're of no ill will. Put the wind to our backs.
Thundercrack
takes care of those who walk the right paths, and your rewards will come.
So he's like spirit, or we actually see him some?
Oh, she is
She.
ancient and quite real. If you have the privilege of meeting Thundercrack, I advise you to take her age and her reverence into your thoughts.
Have you met her in person before?
That is not for me to tell you.
What about the particular coloration of this kind of lizardish person? Is it more of a dark tone or a greenish tone, or?
He has that very brassy
Okay.
color to his scales.
And then how prevalent is draconic knowledge or knowledge about dragons in Venturis?
I'll allow you a history check.
Okay. So 13 with a plus 14 total.
14. So with a 14, knowledge of dragons isn't very widespread because they keep to the depths of the Kalban, so they're very, very rare. In addition to that, you've also heard rumors about a race often referred to as the Dragonborn, who are draconic in nature but are not dragons themselves. But the Dragonborn are known for serving and guarding sites holy to dragonkind. They are much more mythic in Ratoya.
Yeah.
So
he might be thinking then that this is someone kind of dressed up or using illusionary magic or a costume, like the way maybe we in the modern would see like someone who looks elven and think, oh, they must be pretending to be.
give me a general perception.
Okay. 17 unmodified, so, and then -1 for the wisdom, so 16.
16? Well, even with a 16, with the way he speaks, and even in the very low light environments, you can tell this is no costume. This is 100%
Like a
legit.
real creature, yeah.
Just the presence that he has and the way he speaks, the authority with which, his voice carries.
Mak'ren has so many questions, but even in his slightly inebriated state, he knows it's not polite to ask, so he's just fascinated, but doesn't really know how to phrase the next question without being rude. So he's just kind of looking around and nodding and being like, look at her.
The Dragonborn locks eyes with you, Gideon. You are returning to your roots.
You could say that, yeah.
Roots must be nourished to ensure the continued health of the plant.
Well, there's not much nourishment in the Kalban frontier.
The Kalban is difficult, yes, but it is also the mother to us all.
Well, we'll see. She wasn't too kind to me when I was there last time.
Maybe the winds will change for you. And with that, the last calls are issued for games and drinks. The gunfighter returns with your hat, your new hat.
Thank you, Con.
You're welcome. Thanks for showing me that I still have things to learn.
You'll get there.
And with that, you all head in for the evening.
RedDirtDND is Ash King as our Dungeon Master, Brooke Bullock as Mak'ren Stoneshaper, Johnny Payne as Xonimus Danar, Kiri Hester as Poppy Tealeaf, and I'm Michael Cross as Gideon Block. Our sound producer is Mark Coughran. Our theme music was created by the cinemagician P.J. Castillo. Our incidental music comes from Jeffrey McBride, and our sound effects courtesy of TabletopAudio.com. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and our new home on the interwebs, RedDirtDND.com. We here at RedDirtDND could really use your help in getting the word out about us. If you like what you've heard, make sure and subscribe, rate us, and leave a comment. Also, tell your friends about RedDirtDND. You can also support the show at patreon.com/RedDirtDND. We have several giving levels to help us grow up big and strong. And finally, a special thank you to KOSU for giving us a platform to do what we love so much. Join us next time as we go deeper into the Kalban frontier.